Hi everyone, welcome to the session of linear IC applications. In today's session, I am going to give the lecture on applications of op-amp. So we have already discussed about what is an op-amp. So op-amp is one of the linear IC and it performs some mathematical operations like addition, subtraction, multiplication, integration and differentiation and so on. So these are all some applications which we perform by using the op-amp. So first application of op-amp is inverting amplifier. So inverting amplifier, if we are applying the input signal to the inverting terminal of op-amp and the non-inverting terminal of the op-amp is grounded, then that type of amplifier is known as inverting amplifier. So already we know the op-amp consists of mainly two input terminals. One is inverting input terminal, another one is non-inverting input terminal. Plus sign represents non-inverting input terminal, minus sign represents inverting input terminal. And this is the structure of basic op-amp. So these two terminals represents positive power supply and negative power supply, and this is the output terminal. So basically, we are giving two inputs to the op-amp. So whenever we are applying the input signal Vin to the inverting input terminal and non-inverting terminal is grounded, then this type of amplifier is known as inverting amplifier. So in inverting amplifier, we can get the output as 180 degrees out of phase with the input. So for the inverting amplifier, we can get the output as 180 degrees out of phase with the input. That means we can get some negative sign at the output. So here we have V2 as the input terminal. So that means we are applying the input as Vin to the inverting terminal of the op-amp, that is V2. Just mention that one as V2. And the non-inverting input terminal voltage is V1. Consider the non-inverting input terminal voltage is V1. So here this terminal is connected to ground. So that means V1 is equal to 0. And here we are applying some input to the inverting terminal. So that is V2 is equal to Vn. So here we have the difference Vd is equal to V1 minus V2. The difference voltage Vd is equal to V1 minus V2. So already we know the basic output of an op-amp, that is V0 is equal to Ad into V1 minus V2. So it produces the difference of those two input signals which we are applying. That means it provides the amplification of the difference of those two input signals. So that is V0 is equal to Ad into V1 minus V2, where Ad is the differential gain, V1 is the first input, V2 is the second input. So here V1 is the input which we are applying for the non-inverting terminal, and V2 is the input which we are applying for the inverting input terminal. So what is V1? V1 is equal to 0 from the figure. So here V1 is connected to ground, so V1 is equal to 0, and V2 is equal to Vi. V2 is equal to Vi or Vn. So if you substitute these two values in the above equation, then the output voltage V0 is equal to minus AOL into V1 is 0 minus V2 is Vi, that is Vn. So here the differential gain is taken as open loop gain because there is no feedback from output to the input. So that's why this type of gain is also known as open loop gain, AOL. So AD is AOL and V1 is 0, V2 is Vi or Vn. So that's why V0 is equal to minus AOL into Vn. So this is the output of the inverting amplifier. Inverting amplifier. Here the minus the sign, that means negative sign represents the output is 180 degrees out of phase with the input. So output is 180 degrees out of phase with the input. Hence this type of amplifiers are known as inverting amplifiers. And second type of application is non-inverting amplifier. Non-inverting amplifier, this is also in open loop configuration. There is no feedback from output to the input. There is no feedback from output to the input. So what is meant by non-inverting amplifier? So for the non-inverting amplifier, we are applying the input to the non-inverting terminal and the inverting terminal will be ground. So if a voltage Vin is fed at the non-inverting input terminal of the op-amp and keeping the inverting input terminal to ground, then this type of configuration or this type of amplifier is known as non-inverting amplifier. So here the input voltage Vin is applied to the non-inverting terminal of the op amp and inverting terminal is grounded. So consider the input at the non-inverting terminal as V1, input voltage is V1, and the input voltage at the inverting terminal is V2. So here V1 is equal to Vin, V2 is equal to 0 because this is connected to ground. So V2 equal to 0 and V1 is equal to Vn. So what is the output? So we have the equation, that is V0 is equal to AD into V1 minus V2. V0 equal to AD into V1 minus V2. So here V1 is Vin, V2 is 0. V1 is Vin, V2 is 0. This is the what is the basic output voltage for the op amp. Means V0 is equal to AD into V1 minus V2, where V1 is Vin, V2 is 0. So if you substitute those values, then we can get V0 is equal to AD into Vn minus 0. AD into Vn minus 0. So that is AD into Vn. V0 is equal to AD into Vn. So here we can get some positive sign at the output. So here the output is in phase with the input. The output is in phase with the input. So hence this type of amplifiers are known as non-inverting amplifiers. So AD can also be taken as open loop gain because there is no feedback from output to the input. So V0 is equal to AOL into Vn. So then closed loop inverting amplifier. So already we know inverting amplifier means we are applying the input to the inverting terminal and the non-inverting terminal is grounded. What is meant by closed loop? Closed loop means here we are applying some feedback from output to the input. If there is a feedback from output to the input, then that type of configuration is known as closed loop configuration. So if we are applying some feedback to the inverting amplifier, what is the output voltage? So that one we should calculate in this case. So here we are applying the virtual ground concept. Virtual short or virtual ground means the differential input voltage between the non-inverting and inverting input terminals is 0. The differential input voltage or the difference voltage between the non-inverting and inverting terminals is 0. That is the virtual ground concept. So that means the difference voltage Vd is equal to 0. So that means V1 is minus V2 is equal to 0, and that implies V1 equal to V2. So V1 equal to V2 means the voltages of inverting and non-inverting input terminals are same. So that is V1 is equal to V2. That concept is known as virtual ground concept or virtual short concept. So next, just we are applying this concept here, and we are also having the basic rules of ideal or op amp. So that is the current entering into the op amp is here. Already we have studied about the golden rules of op amp. According to that golden rules, the difference voltage at the input of the op amp is 0. So that is Vd equal to 0, as well as op amp draws no current at the input terminals. That means the current entering into the op amp is also 0. So we are applying these two rules here. So in order to get the voltage gain, closed loop voltage gain, this is the inverting amplifier in closed loop configuration. Here we are applying some input Vin to the inverting input terminal and non-inverting terminal is grounded. Non-inverting terminal is grounded. So here we have a feedback, some feedback through the we are providing some feedback through the resistance RF. We are connecting RF between output and the input. So this configuration is known as closed loop inverting amplifier configuration. So Vn is the input which you are applying to the inverting input terminal and non-inverting terminal is grounded. And next, according to virtual ground concept, according to virtual short concept, if the voltage at this point is 0, the voltage at this point is also 0. So because Vd is 0 according to the virtual ground concept, Vd 0 means V1 is equal to V2. V1 equal to V2 means the voltage at this point and the voltage at this point is, so that means these voltages are equal. These two voltages are equal. So here the terminal is connected to ground. That means the voltage at this point is 0. That means the voltage at this point is also 0. That is Vn is equal to 0. At this point the voltage is 0. And the currents which entering into the that means the current at the input terminals of op amp is also 0. That means I equal to 0, as well as in this case also for the inverting terminal also I equal to 0. So by applying these two rules, what is the output? So here we have the current, consider we have the current I1 which is flowing from V1, and that current flows through the resistance RF also. Apply KCL at this node, consider the node at this point is A. So that is we have apply, that means KCL means sum of the entering currents is equal to sum of the leaving currents. So here the entering current is I1 and leaving current is I1. Entering current is I1, leaving current is I1. Consider these two currents are same. So that is here the current I1 is equal to the ratio of voltage to resistance V by R. So what is the voltage at this point? The difference voltage. So here we have two voltages. One is Vn, another one is 0. So that is Vn equal to 0. At this point we have 0 potential. So the difference voltage is Vn minus 0 by the resistance which we are taking at this point is R1. So that is Vn minus 0 by R1. So that is the current I1 through this terminal. Vn minus 0 by R1. So that is Vn by R1. And next, similarly, the voltage, the current at this point. So that means the current through the resistance RF is the difference voltage. Here we have the difference voltage as starting point is this point, ending point is this point. The difference voltage is 0 minus V0. The voltage at this point is V0. So 0 minus V0 by resistance is RF. 0 minus V0 by RF means minus V0 by RF. So minus V0 by RF. So that means Vn by R1 is equal to minus V0 by RF. This is the entering current. This is the leaving current. So if you simplify this equation, then the closed loop gain KCL is equal to, that is V0 by Vn is equal to minus RF by R1. V0 by Vn equal to minus RF by R1. This is the voltage gain or closed loop voltage gain for the inverting amplifier. For the inverting amplifier in ideal case, that is minus RF by R1 is the closed loop voltage gain for the inverting amplifier. Next, closed loop non-inverting amplifier. So in the similar manner, for the non-inverting amplifier, we are applying some feedback. So that means we are providing some feedback from output to the input. So what is the voltage gain when we are applying the feedback? So that voltage gain we should calculate here. So in this case also we are applying the rules. So that means the difference voltage between the two input terminals is 0, Vd equal to 0. So that is V1 equal to V2. And next the currents entering into the op amp is also 0. So that means I1 is equal to 0 as well as I2 equal to 0. So what is meant by non-inverting amplifier? In non-inverting amplifier, the input is applied to the non-inverting terminal and the inverting terminal is grounded. Here we are applying some negative feedback because if you observe the figure, here we are applying the feedback. That means we are providing some resistance RF between the between input and output, and that feedback. So that means we are connecting the output to the inverting terminal of the op amp. Inverting terminal of the op amp. So that means this type of feedback is known as negative feedback. If you connect the output to the inverting terminal of the op amp, then that one is known as negative feedback. Otherwise, we can call it as positive feedback. That means if you are connecting the feedback, so if you are connecting output to the non-inverting terminal of the op amp through some component, then that type of feedback is known as positive feedback. So here we are applying the negative feedback in order to get the stability of gain. And next, we are applying the input to the non-inverting terminal. For the non-inverting amplifier, we are applying the input to the non-inverting terminal and the inverting terminal is grounded. Inverting terminal is grounded. apply rules here. That means the current which that means the current which we are taking at the inverting terminal is 0, and the current at the non-inverting terminal is also 0. And next, so this is the non-inverting amplifier in closed loop configuration. In order to calculate the voltage gain in closed loop configuration, for the simplicity, here we are applying some voltage divider rule. Consider the initial. So here this terminal is connected to ground. The starting voltage, the voltage at this point is V naught. The starting voltage is V naught, and here we have the resistance RF. Here we have the resistance R1. R1 other terminal is connected to ground. The middle voltage is Vn. So that means starting voltage is V naught, middle voltage is Vin, and we have the resistances R1 and Rf. So this voltage is divided between these two resistances. So according to voltage divider rule, the middle voltage Vn is equal to initial voltage, that is V naught, into opposite resistance R1 by total resistance R1 plus Rf. So that is Vn or Vi is equal to V naught into R1 by R1 plus Rf. Vi equal to V naught into R1 by R1 plus Rf. So if you substitute that equation, then we can get V naught by Vi is equal to R1 plus Rf by R1 plus Rf by R. So here we can get Vn is equal to V naught into R1 by R1 plus Rf, or V naught by R1 plus Rf into R1. So from this equation, V naught by Vi is equal to R1 plus Rf by R1. So that means R1 by R1 means 1 plus Rf by R1. So this is the closed loop voltage gain of the op-amp in non-inverting configuration. So ACL means closed loop configuration. That means we are applying some feedback. Whenever we are applying some feedback, this is the voltage gain of a non-inverting amplifier in ideal case. The next one is voltage follower. So what is meant by voltage follower? Here this is the circuit which produces the output that is equal to the input voltage. So that means it is an electronic circuit which produces an output that follows the input voltage. So it is the special case of non-inverting amplifier. So if you consider the feedback resistance RF as 0 ohms, if you consider the feedback resistance RF as 0 ohms, that means if you take some non-inverting amplifier, for the non-inverting amplifier in closed loop configuration, we have some RF feedback resistance. If that feedback resistance is 0 ohms, that means the feedback resistance 0 ohms means the current is infinite. Current infinite means we can take that circuit as closed circuit. So that means that loop as closed loop. So if RF is 0 means we can take it as closed loop. Next, if R1 is infinite, if R1 is infinite means the resistance at this point is infinite. So R1 infinite means the current is R1 infinite means the current is 0. So current 0 means we can take that one as open loop. So we can take that one as open loop. So here this is the special case of non-inverting amplifier. If you take the resistances as RF is equal to 0 and R1 is infinite, then the circuit becomes like this. So this type of circuits are known as voltage followers because for this case the output voltage V0 is equal to, so if you substitute the RF and R1 values, or we can take from the figure we can set that V0 is equal to Vi. From the figure we can set that V0 equal to Vi if we substitute RF equal to 0 and R1 is infinite. So V0 equal to Vi means output voltage follows the input voltage. Output voltage follows the input voltage. Already we know the virtual short or virtual ground concept. The voltage at this point is Vi. So that means the voltage at this point is also Vi. So here the voltage we have is Vi. That means V0 is equal to Vi. So output voltage follows the input voltage. So that's why this type of circuits are known as voltage followers. These are the special case or these circuits are special of non-inverting amplifiers. So next one is adder. So adder is an electronic circuit that produces an output which is equal to the sum of the input voltages. Adder is equal to adder. That means adder is an electronic circuit that produces the output which is equal to the sum of the applied inputs. The other name for the adder is summing amplifier. So as the name indicates, it produces some addition of the input signals. So the circuit in which we have the sum of the input signals is known as adder or the summing amplifier. So the non-inverting terminal here, observe the figure. So here we are applying the inputs to the inverting terminal of the op amp. So here we are applying two inputs V1 and V2 to the inverting terminal of the op amp, and non-inverting terminal is grounded. So that means this type of amplifiers are known as inverting amplifiers. So here we are applying two inputs in order to perform the addition. So this circuit is also known as inverting summing amplifier. Inverting summing amplifier. Here the inputs are V1 and V2. Then what is the output? So we should calculate that one. Next, in order to find out the output voltage, apply nodal equation at the input terminal. So that means apply KCL at this node, and consider we have the currents here. That means we have the current I1 here. Here we have the current I2. Here we have the current I2. So these two currents are entering currents, and this one is. So we can take the directions as we have. So here we have the currents I1, I2 and I3. I1, I2 and I3. So what is I1? So here also we are applying the virtual ground concept. Virtual ground concept means the voltage at this point is 0, because here this terminal is connected to ground. That means the voltage at this point is also 0. The voltage at this point is also 0. So suppose this is the here we are taking the current as I1. So I1 means we can also written as, here the direction is according to this equation, the direction is from this point to this point, from this point to this point. We can also take either of the directions. According to that direction we can apply the KCL. So that means 0 minus V1, starting from this point, that is this is the end point. So 0 minus V1 by R1, this is I1. Similarly 0 minus V2 by R, 0 minus V2 by R2, as well as 0 minus V0 by RF, 0 minus V0 by RF. So these three currents are leading currents starting from this point, I1, I2 and I3. So I1 is difference voltage. 0 minus V1 is the difference voltage by resistance is R1 plus this current. So 0 minus V2 by R2, and next this current 0 minus V0 by RF is equal to 0. So if you simplify this equation, then we can get V1 by R1 plus V2 by R2 is equal to minus V0 by R1. So then finally V0 is equal to minus RF into V1 by R1 plus V2 by R2, minus RF V1 by R1 plus V2 by R2. So if you take RF equal to R1 equal to R2 equal to R, that means if you take all the resistances as same resistances, then we can get V0 equal to minus R into V1 by R plus V2 by R. So R cancel if you take the LCM. V0 is equal to minus V1 of V1 plus minus of V1 plus V2. So this is the output voltage of inverting summing amplifier. Inverting summing amplifier, because here we are applying the input to the inverting terminal of the op amp. So that's why you can get some negative sign here. That means the output is 180 degrees out of phase with the input. Otherwise, that means if you are applying some input to the non-inverting terminal of the op amp by maintaining the inverting terminal to ground, then we can get V0 equal to plus of V1 plus V2. That is V0 equal to V1 plus V2. That is the output voltage of non-inverting summing amplifier. This is the output voltage for the inverting summing amplifier. That means from this equation we can say that the output voltage is equal to the sum of the two input voltages. The output voltage is equal to the sum of the two input voltages V1 and V2. Next one is difference amplifier, or we can also call it as subtractor. So for the difference amplifier also we are applying two inputs. So here this figure represents the difference amplifier. Here we are applying the inputs. So consider this one as V1. So that is missing. So V1 is the input voltage which we are applying to the inverting input terminal, and V2 is the input voltage which we are applying to the non-inverting input terminal. And consider the voltage at this point is VA, and consider the voltage at this point is V2. And the currents flowing through the inverting and non-inverting terminals are I1 and I2. I1 and I2, the current flowing through this resistance is IF. So here we have the resistances as R1, R2, R3 and R4. So here we have the currents from the figure. I1 is equal to, here we have the voltage V1. So V1 minus VA by R1. Similarly, I2 is equal to the difference voltage. V2 minus VB by R2. Similarly, IF is equal to difference voltage. VA minus V0 by R3. So here the output voltage V0 is equal to, in order to find out the output voltage, we are applying, that means we are using some superposition theorem. So we are applying some superposition theorem. So whenever we are finding some output voltage by the effect of the input which we are applying to the inverting input terminal, then we should maintain the other source as 0. So that is V2 as 0. Similarly, in order to find out the output voltage by the effect of V2, we should maintain the other voltage, other source. So that is V1 as 0. So if V2 is 0, then what is the output? If V2 is 0, what is the output? That means here we are maintaining this source as 0 and we are applying only V1 here. So what is the output voltage? So output voltage by the effect of V1. That means whenever we are applying some voltage V1, what is the output? So V0 is equal to minus V1 into R3 by R. So how we can get this equation means, already we know the formula for the inverting amplifier. For the inverting amplifier, what is the output voltage or gain? V0 is equal to Vn into minus Rf by R. Already we are calculated that part in the previous slide. So that means the closed loop gain, that is whenever we are applying the input to the inverting terminal and non-inverting terminal is grounded, that one is called inverting amplifier. In this case also we are maintaining this source as 0 and we are applying input to the inverting terminal of the op amp. And what is the output? V0 is equal to, or gain A is equal to V0 by Vn is equal to minus Rf by R1, or V0 is equal to Vn into minus Rf by R1. So that means here V0 is Vout is equal to Vin is V1 into minus Rf by R1. Minus Rf means R3 by R1 means R1. So this is the output voltage by the effect of voltage V1. That means by maintaining the other source as 0, V2 as 0. Similarly, if V1 is 0, that means if you are maintaining this source as 0, then we are applying voltage to the non-inverting terminal only. Then this type of amplifier is known as non-inverting amplifier. And what is the output? So here the output by the effect of V2 is equal to, that means V2 Vout is equal to V2 into R4 by R2 plus R4 into R1 plus R3 by R1. So here already we know the formula. So that is what is the formula? For the non-inverting amplifier, the closed loop gain ACL is equal to 1 plus Rf by R1. ACL is equal to 1 plus Rf by R1. So 1 plus Rf by R1 means 1 plus R3 by R1. 1 plus R3 by R1 or R1 plus R3 by R1. R1 plus R3 by R1, or else we can also take this one as 1 plus R3 by R1 into Vn. Normally we have the gain, closed loop gain V0 by Vn is equal to 1 plus Rf by R1. So 1 plus Rf by R1 is this term, and in place of Vin, what is Vin here? Vn is Vb here. Vn is Vb here. So this is the middle voltage and this is the initial voltage which we have. Apply voltage divider rule. In order to get the voltage at this point Vb, apply voltage divider rule. So this is the initial voltage, this is the middle voltage. Vb is equal to V2 into R4 by R2 plus R4. Vb is equal to V2 into R4 by R2 plus R4. So that is the voltage. That is the voltage at this point Vb. So Vb is equal to V2 into R4 by R2 plus R4. This is the input voltage into R1 plus R3 by R1. That is 1 plus R3 by R1. So V0 is equal to Vin into 1 plus Rf by R1, where Vin is Vb. So that is V2 into R4 by R2 plus R4 into R1 plus R3 by R1. So these are the individual output voltages which we have. So that means the total output voltage according to the superposition theorem, total output voltage is equal to sum of these voltages. So that is the output voltage by the effect of V1 and the output voltage by the effect of V2. So that is V out of A plus V out of B is equal to minus V1 R3 by R1 plus V2 into R4 by R2 plus R4 into R1 plus R3 by R1. So if you take R1 is equal to R2 and R3 is equal to R2. If you substitute R1 as R2, in place of R1 we can substitute R2, and in place of R2 we can substitute R2. And if you simplify the equation, this equation, then we can get the final equation. Output voltage V out is equal to V2 minus V1. So from this equation we can also say that means if you take all the resistances, that means R1 equal to R2 equal to R3 equal to R4 also, we can get the equation, that is V out equal to V2 minus V1. V2 minus V1. According to this equation we can say that the output voltage is the difference of these two voltages. Output voltage is equal to the difference of input voltages which we are applying. So V2 minus V1. V2 is the voltage which we are applying to the non-inverting input terminal, and V1 is the voltage which we are applying to the inverting input terminal. The next one is integrator. So integrator is also one of the application of the op-amp. So here, what is meant by integrator? It is a circuit whose output is proportional to the integral of the input signal with respect to time. So it is a circuit whose output is proportional to the time integral of the input signal. So here we have two types of integrators, basic integrator and practical. So next application is basic integrator. A basic integrator is the circuit which performs some mathematical operation, integration. So here we have the basic integrator circuit, and from this figure we can get some input voltage Vi. Vi is applied to the inverting terminal of the op-amp and non-inverting terminal is grounded. So this type of amplifier is known as inverting amplifier. For the inverting amplifier, we can get some negative sign at the output. That means output is 180 degrees out of phase with the input. And consider the currents flowing through the resistance R1 is I1. The current flowing through the capacitance CF is IF. And next, so in order to find out the output voltage, apply KCL at this node. Apply KCL at this node. What is the voltage at this point? So here, according to virtual ground concept, the voltage at this point, suppose if the voltage at this point is 0, because here the terminal is connected to ground, that means the voltage at this point is approximately 0. If the voltage at this point is 0, the voltage at this point is also 0. According to virtual ground concept, V1 is equal to V2. So that means the voltage at this point is 0. So what is I1? I1 is equal to the difference voltage by the resistance R1. Difference voltage is Vi minus V2 by R1. So that means Vi minus 0 by R1, Vi by R1. So Vi by R1. Next. So Vi by R1 is equal to, I1 is equal to Vi by R1 is equal to IF. IF is equal to CF into D into V2 minus V0 by dt. CF into D into V2 minus V0 by dt. So what is the current across the capacitor? CF or C. C is equal to, already we know the formula, C is equal to dV by dt. So here the voltage is difference voltage. Here we have two voltages, V2 and V0, the difference voltage. So V2 minus V0, V2 minus V0 is, here V2 is 0, so that is 0 minus V0. 0 minus V0 is the difference voltage here. So minus V0. So minus V0 by dt, that is CF into D into minus V0 by dt, or else minus CF into dV0 by dt. Or from this equation we can also say that dV0 by dt is equal to minus 1 by R1 CF into Vi. Minus 1 by R1 CF into Vi. So if you take the integration on both sides, then derivation and integration will be cancelled out. Then V0 of t is equal to minus 1 by R1 CF into integral of Vi of t plus V0 of 0. This is the initial condition. So V0 of t is equal to minus 1 by R1 CF integral Vi of t plus V0 of 0. According, from this equation, we can say that the output voltage is the time integral of the input voltage. That means the circuit performs some integration on the input signals which we are applying. So this is the output voltage of the basic integrator. In the S domain also we can also write it as, that means if you substitute in place of, that means dV0 by dt means V0 of S is equal to, if we substitute in place of, that means in terms of t, we can also change this equation in S domain. So that is V0 of S is equal to minus 1 by R1 CF into, in place of integration we can take 1 by S into Vi of S. So that is V0 of S is equal to minus 1 into 1 by S into R1 CF into Vi of S. So that is V0 of S by Vi of S is equal to this equation. What is meant by S? If we substitute S is equal to j omega, then V0 by Vi is equal to minus 1 by j omega into R1 into CF. If you take the magnitude, V0 by Vi is equal to minus 1 magnitude is 1 by A plus IB form. So that is A is 0 and B is omega R1 into CF. So that is square root of A square plus B square. That is square root of 0 square plus omega R1 CF whole square. So if square and root cancel, then we can get omega R1 into CF. So 1 by, what is omega? Omega is equal to 2 pi f. 2 pi f into R1 into CF. So that is 1 by, we can also write it as 1 by f by fp, where fp is equal to 1 by 2 pi R1 into CF. That means 2 pi R1 CF is equal to fp here. So V0 by Vi is equal to 1 by f by f. So this is the frequency at which we can get the cutoff region. Next one. Here we have the limitation or drawback for the basic integrator, and this is the response of basic integrator. If you draw the response by using that equation, this is the response of basic integrator. The drawback is, or the limitation is, for the lower input, for the lower frequencies. So that means for DC input, the reactance of the capacitance becomes infinite. Already we know for the DC signals, the reactance of the capacitance becomes infinite. That means there is no capacitance. That means there is no feedback from output to the input. That means the op amp goes into open loop configuration. So if there is a feedback, the op amp operated in open loop configuration. If the op amp is operated in the open loop configuration, the output is, that means even a small signal will be amplified at the output, and we can get some error at the output. So this will give some false triggering, and this should be avoided. Because of that open loop configuration, output is not related with the input. That means we can get some non-linearity at the output. So that means we can get some error, and we can get some infinite range of output at lower frequencies. So that means this is the limitation which we have for the ideal or basic integrator, and it should be modified by using the practical integrator. The limitation of basic integrator will be minimized by using the practical integrator. And in practical integrator, we are using two more components, RF and CF, in the feedback path. So as shown in the figure. So here we have the figure. And next, this type of integrator is also known as lossy integrator. This type of integrator is known as lossy integrator. And because of why we are calling it as lossy integrator means because of the parallel combination of RF and CF, we have some power dissipation. So we have some power dissipation. So that's why this type of integrator is known as lossy integrator. So this is the figure which represents the practical integrator, and compared to the basic integrator, we have only one more extra component, that is RF at the feedback path. So by the use of this feedback resistance, we can eliminate the problem which we are facing at the basic integrator. So if you are applying some KCL at this node, just take the currents as I1, I2 and I3, apply KCL at this node, then we can get the equation as in terms of in S domain. So that is Vi by R1 plus S into CF into V0 by S plus V0 by S by RF into is equal to 0. So if you simplify the equation, then we can get, that means if you substitute S is equal to J omega, then V0 of S by Va of S is equal to 1 by J omega R1 CF plus R1 by RF. So 1 by R1 by RF will be common. If you take the common term as R1 by RF, then you can get 1 plus J into 2 pi F into RFCF. J into 2 pi F into RFCF. So that is 1 by R1 by RF into 1 plus J into F by FA, where FA is 1 by 2 pi RFCF. 1 by 2 pi RFCF is taken as FA. So then we can get 1 plus J into F by FA. Finally, we can get the equation as RF by R1 into 1 plus J into F by FA. If you substitute S is equal to J omega, so this is the equation. Then finally, if you take the magnitude, that means mod A is equal to 1 by square root of omega square R1 square CF square by R1 square plus RF square. If you take the magnitude to this term, then we can get the equation as RF by R1 by, if you simplify the equation, then we can get RF by R1 by square root of 1 plus omega RF CF plus. So that is about the practical integrator. Next one is differentiator. What is meant by differentiator? This is the circuit whose output is proportional to the differential of input voltage with respect to the time. That means it performs some differentiation operation. And in this case also we are using some capacitor and the resistor in the feedback, capacitor at the input terminal and resistor in the feedback path. Basically we have two types of differentiators, basic differentiator and practical differentiator. First one is basic differentiator. This circuit represents the basic differentiator. So in this case, here we are applying input to the inverting terminal of the op-amp. Then we can get some negative sign at the output. And next, here we are using two components, C1 at the input and RF at the feedback part. And here we are using some negative feedback because output is connected to the inverting terminal of the op-amp. And consider the current flowing through the capacitor is IC, the current flowing through the resistance RF is IF. If you apply KCL at this node, so sum of the entering currents is equal to sum of the leaving currents. Here we have the entering current as IC, leaving current as IF, that is IC is equal to IF. According to virtual ground concept, the voltage at this point is 0 because this terminal is connected to ground. The voltage at this point is also 0. That is VA is equal to VB or VB is equal to VB. So that means, what is IC? So IC is equal to the current through the capacitance C1. Already we know the capacitance, the current through the capacitance C is equal to dV by dt. So that is C into I is equal to C into dV by dt. So here C is C1 or C into dVn by dt. So dVn by dt means here the difference voltage Vn minus Vb. Here we have two voltages, Vn minus Vb. Vb is 0, so that means totally we have a voltage Vn. So that's why C into, normally we have d into Vn minus Vb by dt. Vb is 0 here, so that is d into Vn by dt is equal to next the current through the resistance RF. Already we know the difference voltage here, that is Vb minus V0. Here we have two voltages. For this current, we have two voltages, VB and V0. VB minus V0. So VB is 0. 0 minus V0 means minus V0 by RF. V0 minus V0 by RF is the current flowing through the resistance RF. So if you simplify the equation, then V0 is equal to minus RF into C into dVn by dt. Minus RF into C into dVn by dt. From this equation, we can say that the output voltage, that means there is some differentiation operation is performed at the output. That means input is differentiated and the output is V0 is equal to minus RF C into dVn by dt. In S domain, we can also write it as V0 of S is equal to S into RF into C into Vn of S. We have some negative sign here. So just that is mystery here. So that is V0 by Vn is equal to minus j omega RF into C. Minus j omega RF into C. If you take the magnitude, then V0 by Vn is equal to omega RF into C. Omega RF into C. This is in the form of A plus IB form. A is 0 and B is omega RF C. That is square root of A square plus B square. That is square root of omega RF C whole square. Square root cancel, then we can get the equation as omega RF into C. If you substitute omega as 2 pi f, so 2 pi f into RF into C, that is f by fa, where fa is equal to 1 by 2 pi into RF into C. Just we are converting the equation in terms of frequencies. So f by fa, where fa is 1 by 2 pi RF into C. This is the magnitude of a basic differentiator. So if you draw the figure for the basic differentiator, here also we have the limitation or drawback. So the disadvantage of basic differentiator, that means in this case also, so if you observe the figure, so in this case also, we can get some open loop response if you go for the higher frequencies. If you go for the higher frequencies, then the basic differentiator will be, that means the output of the basic differentiator will be non-linear. So the gain of the differentiator increases as the frequency increases. So at higher frequencies, the differentiator becomes unstable. So that will lead to some oscillations, and the input impedance also decreases as we move for the higher frequencies. So this makes the circuit unstable. So that means we can get some error at the output. That means the output is not related to the input. So the above disadvantages can be overcome by using some practical differentiator. So the practical differentiator, in this case also we are taking some resistance and capacitances. Just we are taking two more components. That means R1, C1 at the input terminals and RF, CF at the feedback part. This is the practical differentiator. And in this case also we are applying the input to the inverting terminal and non-inverting terminal is grounded. Because this is the inverting amplifier, we can get some negative sign at the output. So that is, consider the impedance at this terminal is Z1, the impedance at this feedback path is ZF. So if for the simplicity, already we know the closed loop gain for the inverting amplifier. V0 by Vn is equal to minus Rf by R. V0 by Vn is equal to minus Rf by R1. So V0 by Vn is equal to minus Rf by R1 means here the feedback path resistance is Zf and the input path resistance is Z1. So V0 by Vn is equal to minus Zf by Z1. Minus Zf by Z1. Here Z1 is the parallel combination of Rf and Zf. Zf is the parallel combination of Rf and Cf. Z1 is the series combination of R1 and C1. So take Zf as the parallel combination of Rf and Cf. That is Rf into 1 by j omega Cf by Rf plus 1 by j omega Cf. The parallel combination of these two components is Rf into 1 by j omega Cf by Rf plus 1 by j omega Cf. And similarly take the series combination of R1 and C1 as Z1. That is Z1 is equal to R1 plus 1 by j omega C. Z1 is equal to R1 plus 1 by j omega C. So if you substitute these two values in this equation, then we can get the equation as minus S RF C1 by 1 plus S RF C1 plus 1 plus SRF C1 into 1 plus SR1 C1. So if you take RF C1 is equal to R1 C1, then we can get V naught of S by VA of S is equal to minus SRF C1 by 1 plus SR1 C1 whole square. So that implies SRF C1 by 1 plus J into F by FD whole square, where FB is equal to 1 by 2 pi R1 C1. 1 by 2 pi R1 C1. Just substitute S is equal to J omega and omega is equal to 2 pi F. Then if you take 1 by 2 pi R1 C1 as FP, then we can get the equation as 1 plus J into F by FP whole square. So here we have the minus sign in these two cases also. Just that is missing. So if you draw the graph for this equation for the practical differentiator, then we can get the graph, that means frequency response as this. That means it will not go through the open loop response. So at higher frequencies we can that means at higher frequencies the output will become non-linear in the case of basic differentiator, but that problem can be eliminated if you draw the frequency response by using this equation. That means for the practical differentiator, and the applications for the practical differentiator is it will be applicable for the wave shaping circuits in order to detect the high frequency components in the input. So that is about, this is the frequency response characteristics. That means for F less than Fp, what is the gain, and for F greater than Fp, what is the gain. So these are the applications of differentiator. So thank you.